Day 2 in Stockholm. And well, after a day where the wickets tumbled, we saw 20 wickets fall in match 2. The first time we've ever seen that on the European Cricket Network. Pakistanska, Forening, and well, they are trophy holders and they got off to an undefeated start. But Stockholm, they look a lot improved to me and they will meet in the first match of the day. 4 T10 matches on the way. I'm Mr. Maximo. This is the Fan Code European Cricket Series Sweden, Stockholm, and it starts right now. Good morning to you, wherever you're watching around the world, and welcome to another big day in European cricket. It's Vinny Sander here, Mr. Maximo for the European Cricket Network, and get ready for 4 T10 matches. It's day 2 in Stockholm, Sweden, and we're starting with another Group A clash. It's Stockholm versus Pakistanska Forening. Well, I can tell you that these two teams, well, they both tasted victory on the opening day. Pakistanska, well, they're 2-0 and look pretty impressive, if not quite hitting their straps just yet. Their captain Bilal Muhammad, I'm sure he wants to start the day with a win, but Stockholm, well, they're 1-1, and look, they'd love to get some revenge for match 3 yesterday, where Pakistanska got up on them by 30 runs, 97 to 67. The match referee, Adrian van der Dries, is with 2 captains. Let's get ready for the coin toss for match 5, the first match of the day.
Het dus. Ja. Het goed. Hier komt. Okay. Phil's gold. And it is a head.
What would you like to do, Chenna?
We're back first.
There you go. It is Stockholm who will get the chance to bat first against PF in the first match of the day. Look, I think that's a good toss to win for Chenanali, the Stockholm captain. They certainly couldn't really get anything going in the chase, so at least this way they get the chance to get the runs on the board. And I think that they will be looking very closely at Vinod Chalindra. I like the way he batted yesterday. He scored 46 runs across the day at a strike rate of almost 3 a ball, so he's certainly one to watch out for. Also, look out for their opening bowler, Deep Jagan Singh. I think that he looked really good and can move the new ball around a little bit and cause some problems for the opening batsman. We know that both these teams, they've had some struggles with early wickets, and I think that could be a key. Stockholm, look, they already have 1 win in the series. That's as many as they got in last year's series, so I'd certainly think they're a much improved team and maybe they can challenge, especially now they've won the toss and they will be batting first. Pakistanska Forening, though, their captain Bilal Muhammad, I don't think he'll be too upset at getting the chance to chase. It means his team will have to kind of work with the target in mind. I particularly like the look of Farhan Chowdhury and his form. I think that Imam Din, well, he missed out a little bit yesterday, but he certainly is capable. Samir Ali Khan had a few lives yesterday, but he showed that he's a really important player with the bat and the ball for Pakistanska. And look, the innings of Muhammad Wajid Ali as well. I think that his top score yesterday in this corresponding fixture was critical, so he's another man to look out for PF. Let's talk about the conditions today in Stockholm. I can tell you it's a beautiful sunny day, just a few clouds in the sky, but nothing too threatening. We're expecting a maximum temperature of 22 degrees. Currently it's about 19 for the first ball of the day. So perfect conditions for cricket. This outfield, you might notice, it's probably 5 metres longer than some of the outfields we've had recently. And those 5 metres can make a big difference. And although it is a fairly fast outfield, we're already seeing that scores of about 90 are defendable. That certainly wasn't the case last week in Romania. Well, Michael McCann is back with me, and I'm really looking forward to spending the day with you, Michael, in the commentary box. Why don't we head over to you now and get ready for the first ball? Michael McCann, the first game is on the way.
Thank you very much, Vinny, and good morning to you wherever you're watching us from around the world, whether you're in the subcontinent keeping an eye on your Dream 11, or you are elsewhere on YouTube here at the Stockholm Norsborg Cricket Ground. We've got 4 exciting T10 games for you across the day, starting with Stockholm winning the toss and electing to bat against Pakistanska in match 5. Pakistanska winning both of their games yesterday when themselves winning the toss and choosing to bat, so they will chase for the first time in this competition. Stockholm with a mixed day, losing when these two met by 30 runs in match 3, but they came back very well with a comprehensive win against Forening in gorgeous conditions for a morning game of cricket. There's Sometimes where we've been all across the European continent, where this 9 a.m. game can be a little bit chilly and nippy and have a bit of dew on the outfield and quite favourable conditions for a bit of early morning swing bowling and difficult to come out and have a bat, but certainly not the case here. This is how we look for match 5. In red is the amount of Dream 11 points accumulated by that player so far. In gold is how much it would cost you to get them into your fantasy side. Pakistanska Forening with a couple of wins yesterday without one individual player necessarily starring. What was impressive was so many different players contributed with bat and ball. Bilal Mohammed, probably the most impressive bowler though across the day. 5 across his 2 pairs of overs in their matches against Shika and then Stockholm. As for Stockholm, well, with the bat they're going to be looking to Vinod Chalindra here. Chalindra was utterly destructive yesterday for them. 46 not out of just 14 balls against the Forening rolls in the late afternoon sun. Opening pair for Stockholm, Ankit Tiwari and Gautam Ramamurthy. So they've not gone with Chalindra to open the batting, despite that excellent knock yesterday. And in fact, they've gone with an entirely new opening combination. Now that is something of a surprise, because yesterday, in their win against the Forening Royals, Abhishek Mathur and Praveen Natarajan put on 53 for the first. But they've decided they're going to entirely change that. It's the left-hander, Tiwari, who will face the very first ball of the day, to be bowled by Bilal Mohammed, who was so impressive yesterday for Pakistanska. Power play time. Got square leg and long on out, long on fielding just in front of us. And a ring of 5 on the offside. First ball of day 2 then here in Stockholm. It's a leave. I don't see that very often in T10 cricket. In fact, I'm not sure I can ever remember an innings starting with an authentic leave. Did shape back, and it actually didn't miss off stump by that much at all. Swung away. And somehow he's got away with that. Leg fielder who's not got a cap or glasses on at all. He just had no idea where it was. It went straight up. And in his defence, he was looking right into that big yellow ball in the sky. Not necessarily the best day to be leaving the sunglasses and or the cap off the field. So Tiwari very lucky to get off the mark. More good bowling from Bilal Mohammed. This is an excellent start. Just prodded out outside the off stump. Again, unable to make contact. So 4 balls gone here, and the only ball that has had any bat on it should have been caught at deep square leg. Outstanding first over. Unconvincingly by Tiwari. So just 3 singles coming from that opening over of the day. Brilliantly bowled by Bilal Mohammed, the Pakistanska captain. Stockholm 3 without loss in the early morning sun. Get your contributions coming in on the YouTube European Cricket Network live chat. Good morning to all of you who are in there. And that contains some of our very most dedicated viewers who keep up with our tournaments going on right across the continent. And let us know as well, after all, that it is Tuesday morning, how you went at the weekend. Could well be caught at point. Is caught at backward point. First wicket of the day. And the pressure from Bilal Mohammed's opening over of the day. Has influenced what's going on at the start of the second. And it really should have been taken. Well, he had it in his hands for a long time. It was Bilal Mohammed himself who couldn't take the catch. Khalil Jalali denied a wicket by his opening bowling partner. Apologies for the scoreline being down. Get that updated for you as soon as possible. It's still Ramamurti who are out there. Down the ground this time and nicely pouched. Farhan Chowdhury holds on. And Pakistanska finally have their deserved breakthrough. This timed from Gautam Ramamurti, who is now out. It's been a really labouring, slow start from Stockholm. Still yet to find a boundary. And this the second over of the day. And Khalil Jalali definitely, despite the drop of Bilal Mohammed, it was a bit of a debt of gratitude to him because Bilal Mohammed built the pressure in that first. So here comes the hero for Stockholm from yesterday. Vinod Chalindra made 46 off just 14 balls, featuring 4 fours and 4 big sixes against foreign on rolls. Starts with a busy, quick single, Chalindra. That is already half of the power play gone. Blink and you miss it. Once more just knocked away for attempt at strike rotation. Short and turned away inside out. 3 singles in succession to end the second over. Jalali getting the breakthrough, and he only went for 4 from that. Innings remains boundaryless, and Stockholm is 7 for 1 off 2. So Bilal Mohammed is going to bowl his second over straight off the reel. His first went for just 3. It's too short. Pummeled away, but one of his 2 sweepers is out at long on. He's gone straight to that sweeper, so it's just a single. Very convincing shot from Chalindra, though, who has 3 singles to his name so far. Didn't hit many singles yesterday, Chalindra. This one straight at square leg from Tiwari. Still boundaryless Stockholm. Could be a boundaryless power play at this rate. Catching chance. And dropped. Well, it's gone a long way off his foot as well from the fielder at short fine leg. This has somehow hit his foot and gone a long, long way away. Just see it come off his foot there. He's not going to get a contract for any top European football team with a touch like that. It's safe to say any professional cricket scouts might not be overly interested either. So that is a life for Tiwari. Another catching chance at long on. And that one is taken. Well, that is a good catch from Samir Ali Khan out there. It's been a lot of catching practice early on for these Stockholm fielders. They've caught 2. They've dropped 3. But regardless of the drops, they're still in complete control here. Stockholm now 11 for 2. And that is the danger man gone. Vinod Chalindra, who hit 87% of his runs in boundaries yesterday, was one of the stars of the day. But today, he's gone for 5 off 5. Bilal Mohammed has his first wicket to go with the 3 that he managed on day 1. Swing a miss out there. Imran Jahangir says, slow start from Stockholm. Didn't take advantage of the power play due to the tight bowling of Pakistanska. Can they reach 80 plus? Yeah, I'd say that's probably around where they're looking right now. Tiwari will get off the mark here. Get himself a single, sorry. And that will deny Kunal Panchal, the new batter, the chance to get off the mark, because Tiwari will keep the strike. End of the power play. It is the worst power play of this tournament so far, and it's going to take some beating, and of course not a record you want to be beating at all. Stockholm managing just 12 for 2 from their 3 overs so far. They've lost the big hitting Chalindra as well, who's yet to get a score of note in the tournament, alongside Panchal, who is batting for the first time in this competition. Got to try and rebuild from the wreckage. So I need to bowl out. Left-handed Panchal off the mark. He'll adjust for the right-hander. There is something of a flexible batting order policy from Stockholm. They've sent out the left-hand Panchal to keep the left-hand right-hand combination going. Miscue, and that will be the first boundary. Given the way this game has gone, a streaky 4 through third man. a wild swipe. And he gets very lucky. Kunal Panchal. Mark in the most unconvincing of ways. Caught behind, gone. Yep, there was an obvious sound. He was in no rush to walk off, Panchal, but was given the dreaded finger of doom from the umpire. Looked out. Of course, there's only so much you can necessarily tell from slow motion replay, but there was a big, very obvious noise that even in our commentary box out at deep long on that you could hear. Bad. So here comes Santosh Yadlapalli. Santosh didn't do anything of note with the bat yesterday. Again, another right-hander, so it does keep that right-hand, left-hand combination going. Oh, what a ball that is. Well, he's ended up appealing, Jalali. I'm not even sure he knows what method of dismissal he's appealing for. I think it's more one of those, I bowled a brilliant ball and I feel like this deserves to be a wicket kind of appeals. Keeper's dropped it regardless. Not the finest bit of wicket keeping from Cameron Zia, must be said. To wider. Worked away by Lapali, who's off the dreaded duck. Shakim Sheikh says ground fielding's decent so far, but catches are not being held. It'll be pretty much 50-50 for catching Pakistanska in this innings. Leg stump half volley, and it's almost brought a wicket. It's another drop catch, in fact. This time from Sama Chowdhury. Well backed up though by Zubair Aslam. It's timed well enough by Ankit Tiwari. Just straight to the fielder at deep square leg. Once again, couldn't hold on. Of course, Sweden part of the brand new European Cricket Championship coming to your screens from mid-September. Swedish cricket history, in fact, goes back to 1883, when the first club that was formed had a name that translates as the Society of Joy. British Embassy staff then created Stockholm CC in 1948. The game's grown from there. Of course, major coup for European cricket came last year when South African cricket legend John T. Rhodes was named as Sweden's head coach, travelling through winter snow for his first indoor training session. 4 overs gone, 20 for 3. And the fifth starts with a nervy, quick single for Yadlapalli. Smeared away. Think of two, but after some deliberation, we'll turn that down. It's good fielding out there by Farhan Chowdhury to run 15 yards around to his left, attack the ball well. Sure that two wasn't a realistic possibility. Short jabbed away. Direct hit would have been out, but he had Aslam, who was in all sorts of trouble here. Well, we talk about direct hits. Aslan was right in the firing line here. Managed to jump and duck for cover in time. Lovely line, lovely length. Very difficult to try and smash that through the leg side. He's got this gap at deep mid-wicket and he's inviting Tiwari to hit it there. He's saying if you're good enough to, with the angle going away from you, get it through mid-wicket, then fair enough. This time goes inside out through the covers. Bursts through the hands of Waqar Hassan. Didn't get anything on it. That's well backed up from deep point coming around. Down the ground. And the first 6 of the innings. Well, finally Tiwari's been connecting with one. There's been lots of bat speed without much in terms of runs to show for it so far. But that's changed here. Went straight, bit of a baseball shot. It's very effective as well. So at the halfway stage of the innings, Ankit Tiwari has 18 not out of 14. Stockholm struggling, 31. Indra and Panchal all removed for single figures. It's been very good bowling effort from Pakistanska. Jalali bowling out with 2 for 12. Mohammed Bilal completing his 2 overs, taking 1 for 8. As Sandy joins me for the second half of this innings. Hard through the covers, and they will get a single. So to get up to a half respectable total, they've got to be running hard between the wickets for deliveries such as that.
And good morning, Michael. Good morning to all of our viewers. Wonderful to have your company today on ECN. Yeah, a bit of a pedestrian start, isn't it, from Stockholm? Shades of yesterday when these two teams met. That's the first wide of the innings. That's the other thing. They haven't given extras away. I think that's why I think Stockholm really struggling. Slightly different look. Yesterday, they were chasing 98 for victory. Only ended up with 67 off their 10 overs, despite only losing 3 wickets.
That's very good from Shari Shaji, just adjusting his line after that wide.
There's certainly no lack of intent from Stockholm, but just the bowling's been a little bit too good for them, I think, at times.
This will just be 1 out to long off. It should only be 1, but as with all ECS cricket, never is 1 until the ball truly is as dead as dead can be.
Famous last words, just the 1. But, you know, Phil G saying, a lot of people pointing out the slow start by the batsman, but what about taking your hat off to the excellent bowling? And perhaps the fielding hasn't been as good, but the ball in good areas, and they haven't bowled too many really hittable boundary balls that you see sometimes at this level.
It's that awkward back of a length, could be a chance. And the football skills not quite as good as the bowling skills he showed so far, Shaji.
Yeah, so a lot of people are saying hats off to the bowlers, and the Pakistanska Forening, they do have an ECS title to their name, of course. We're hoping to make it too. They certainly have made a good start, haven't they? The 2-0 yesterday. Making a very strong showing so far in this match.
Yeah, nobody's bowled a bad over. That is a low full toss, though. Even that, following the pattern of the innings, isn't fully capitalised on and could be run out on the second. Just about makes it back despite the efforts of Cameron Zia, the keeper. Yeah, not much Not much of a bat being run in there, but
Yeah, it's risky.
just about did the job.
Yeah, the most expensive over was Zubair Aslam, who I think was one of the best bowlers for PF yesterday. It was the first maximum of the innings, taking his over up to 11, but apart from that, they've all been 8 and below, so very, very tight stuff from Pakistanska.
Again, thoroughly mistimed, and yet again in this innings dropped. Well, if the bowling was as good as the fielding, Stockholm would be... If the fielding was as good as the bowling, I should say, then they'd be bowled out by now, Stockholm.
I think so.
And that is a life for Ankit Tiwari, a very generous life, dropped by Waqar Hassan. And at the end of the 6th, Stockholm, even with 38 for 3.
You can't blame that one on the sun anyway.
Absolutely not, yeah.
I'll tell you what, though, I mean, if you can somehow get 10s out of this, you've got 7 wickets in hand, that's the thing. So you have to hopefully get that one boundary and over, run hard. Maybe you'll get some assistance with some extras. But if you can get 80 on the board, we've seen that might be competitive here. PF have had their struggles with the bat at times as well with early wickets. And so I think even at this position, there is a way out, but Stockholm, they need something to change and change quickly. Jamal Arwan's going to bowl, and he's been a pretty good bowler for Pakistanska as well. So they certainly have a lot of options, but Stockholm, I have to think on the positive side. They've got plenty of batsmen in the shed, but now it's got to be go time.
Got everybody back on leg side. 4 sweepers out there, so one has to do his own DIY fielding.
You see that it's good start from R1, isn't it? Come up and bowl wide, so take time to get going. You don't have that much time. You already got 12 deliveries as a bowler. That one was full and straight, and you can see why they've trusted him with these back-end overs.
Off the bottom edge. Yet again, thoroughly unconvincing. This is an innings that has now had 44 deliveries, and there's been just 1 6, that's straight 6 from Tiwari, and then an edged 4 through third man from Panchal, and that is it for boundary count. Another catching chance at cover. Oh, he's held this one one-handed. Well, he dropped an absolute sitter in the previous over, Waqar Hassan, but this time he clings on. This was actually a slightly more difficult chance. And a bit of apple picking in his right hand. Clutched it. And Stockholm 40 for 4. Thanks to the end, a bit of a vigil for the opener. Ankit Tiwari, he's gone for 23 off 20. The only 6 of the innings, but aside from that, was really finding it difficult to make meaningful contact to the ball often at all. And up comes Rajesh Jalal.
What do you think then, Michael? Do you think that maybe they should be trying to catch everything one-handed? They've got a much better strike rate.
1 from 1, one-handed, yeah.
The other hand gets in the way, maybe.
Sure. Lapali rotates. They'd crossed, of course.
I wonder, though. I mean, dropped an absolute sitter just about 2 minutes ago, didn't he? And then the next time, he's...
it's a more difficult catch. I mean...
It's way more difficult. It was
feels
over his
like
shoulder.
We've got the Olympics coming up. It does feel like sort of one of those... the degree of difficulty. You'd say that the catch in the previous over was maybe a 3, and that catch was maybe a 6.5, 7. That is a wide, as anything in ECS cricket down the leg side at all is.
So, like I said, they've been pretty good. That's only the second wide in the innings, but yeah, Waqar Hassan, what a catch. Waqar Hassan catching that one over his shoulder, one-handed.
Off the pads. A brilliant feint. How's that appeal from long on in front of us? Apart from the slight impediment of the laws of cricket, it was a great shout.
They do get in the way sometimes, don't they?
Reminds me of a brilliant LBW I saw at the weekend. As again, we get how's that appeal for that?
Well, that might have been someone in the apartment block across the road appealing. They were so far away.
I think I actually think that was quite possibly missing a second set down leg. End of the 7th over. It's a very good over from Awan, regardless of the LBW, slightly spurious LBW appeals. 44 for 4.
Just want to mention coming up over the next few weeks. We have 2-week series at the moment. Stockholm for 2 weeks. You're watching it right now. Then Malmö in the south of the country for 2 weeks. Then a fortnight in Dresden in the east of Germany, and Capella to finish the European Cricket Series schedule before the first ever ECC, which starts on the 13th of September. You can check out all the information about those series at europeancricket.com and ecc.cricket. That's your place, one-stop shop to find out what's going on with European Cricket Championship, including how you can get involved as part of the fan zone. And right here, we're going to have Abdullah Khalil bowling. But I do want to hear about this LBW from the weekend, Michael. I love your stories.
The crease, that's a nice start from Khalil. He didn't really have much to speak of in terms of rhythm yesterday. Wicketless in his 3 overs, went for 24. He was one of their more expensive options. So Macho was playing in. Guys bowling right arm around.
Sounds familiar.
Unusual, to say the least. He's bowling right arm around to a right-handed batter. Miss for Yadlapalli. So the guy's also batting, as people often do, against fast bowler, pretty commonplace, about a yard out of his crease.
Okay.
I'm at square leg.
Does this end up with you appealing? I feel like it's...
No, a square leg umpire.
Oh,
so
okay, all right, got it.
I'm not sort of involved in any meaningful way. I tend to have a policy, particularly when keeping wicket, that is actually there comes to a point where if you over appeal, you just lose the trust of the umpires.
Lose your credibility.
Given nothing.
Yeah.
So no, I was friendly match. I was square leg umpire. Guy's bowling right arm round. Batter's a yard out of his crease. That's the starting setup for this situation. Again, bangs it in short. It's working well for Khalil. Concedes the first run of his spell here. Trust him to bowl the 8th and the 10th. It looks like. Guy's also bowling hooping outswing as well. So he's bowling right arm around and he's getting it to swing away from the right-hander. It's pitched, must be like 2 feet, 3 feet maybe outside leg. Like genuinely miles. His own foot. He's going to get a single thou, but still lacking a real sense of urgency in this innings, Stockholm. So it's pitched a good 2 or 3 feet outside leg. It's swung back a long way because obviously you have the angle of right arm round. He's got a bit of a slingy arm. He's not releasing from sort of right sort of gun barrel straight.
Yeah.
And the bowler's faintly gone up. Nobody else has. Short, smashed away, and that is one of the shots of the innings so far. Takes Stockholm to 50 in style. 50 for 4 at the end of the 8th. A crunching cut from Yadlapalli. Rocked back, he got everything right here into a rare gap out in the covers. It is a boundary to finish the 8th.
Yeah, so beautiful shot there to finish the... So how did this LBW saga end? That's what I want to know. You described it well. So basically, it's a terrible shout. It should never ever be given out.
The worst shout ever.
It wasn't even a shout.
The keeper and the slips have said nothing. It's hit him on the top of the pad when he's batting a yard out of his crease, and he's come down. And
I have a bad feeling this is going to end badly.
It gets worse. Swipe and a miss off first ball of Samir Ali Khan's over, the penultimate over of the innings, with his little combination of spin and medium pace. Smeared away through square leg, and that will be 4 more. Lal gets his first boundary. Stockholm trying to edge to a vaguely competitive score, and that will help. He's got 4 sweepers out on that leg side. He's made his intent pretty clear. He's going to try and give him no room outside the off stump. Bowled him. Off stump disturbed. Sami Ali Khan has his wicket. And Stockholm lose yet another one. It's Sami Ali Khan's first wicket of the tournament. Stockholm now 54 for 5. Just now gone for 6 off 6.
Yeah, shades of yesterday when they just couldn't get anything going. 67 they scored on that occasion. Remember, each of these teams, they had to qualify. There were 30 teams that wanted to play in this ECS. We only had room for 10. So Stockholm obviously have had some form to get this far. And they did play last year. They came 6th of 7. They looked to me to be a lot improved. And remember, they came out in Game 4 last night. Looked a completely different team than the one we saw stumble to 67 in Game 3. But sometimes it's just teams that have the wood on you. And I think that Pakistanska just seem to be all over this Stockholm batting lineup. And they've got absolutely no confidence that they can get a decent score against them. That's what it looks like anyway.
But they are also facing a team that's on a run of 8 ECS wins in a row.
Yeah, true.
It's a team that are in great form, that have got plenty of batting and bowling options, and their bowling today's been very impressive. Pakistanska, as Nali faces his first ball.
Okay, you got to tell me,
One
how does this LBW end?
So what gets even worse?
Hanging me for 2 overs. Oh, it's good running though. I'm going to get 2 here.
They are going to sneak back. So what gets even worse is there's a faint shout from the bowler. Umpire's unmoved. Very inexperienced umpire, shall I be charitable and say. Bowler turns to go back to his mark. And as the bowler's turned and gone back to his mark, it's that late.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, I know. Feigns to shout at the stumps, thinks better of it, Sami Ali Khan.
I know where this is going now.
Puts the finger up. And it's so late that nobody really everyone's... There's a catching chance.
Oh.
And instead it's going to bobble over his head for 4. Well, he tried to hang back and stop the boundary. Abdullah Khalil ended up doing neither.
Pretty good slow ball, actually. But he picked it well. But this is why he doesn't normally field there, because this is normally Sami Ali Khan's position. He's surprised for sure by that bounce. The first bounce does really take off on this outfield, but I think Stockholm, they'll take them however they can get them.
So end of the 9th, 60 for 5. Nali takes the gift that comes his way. And Ali Khan a bit unfortunate to concede 10 from that over. So yeah, there's this sort of disbelief of, oh, what? You've given...
Understandable.
That's out. You know, the bowler's already walked past. Batsman sort of asked, oh, and it's like, well, yes, it's LBW. It was going to hit your stumps. And it was like, oh my goodness gracious me.
What was the result? Did it stand?
Well, to be fair to the opposition, so the opposition keeper in slips burst out. Thinking that it was a joke, the umpire was like, well, no, you're out. And the opposition captain at first slip, give him credit, he retracted the appeal. He said, well, we're not playing that.
That's very
ridiculous.
sporting. I do like that.
That's ridiculous. Which,
especially
given it was a friendly game, he was like, look, this is, like, you know.
It's not in the spirit of the game.
It's just like, this is, and basically, very politely, the umpire was moved to other duties, shall we say.
Well bowled.
Could be a run out. Decides not to shy Shaji, which is wise. He knows that if he misses, he concedes at least a run.
And they don't save a run with a run out in this occasion. You see, even if he runs him out, you're not actually saving a run. They would just get the wicket.
That's going to be byes or wides. Either way, it's gone over the rope. It'll be by. The keeper, Cameron Zia, did move a bit late. Can be really difficult to get down to, those ones that keep low down leg. Very awkward.
Yeah, I actually think in amateur games, if you're umpiring yourselves, or for example, a member of the batting team is umpiring, or you have a very experienced umpire, it's always a good idea to walk, for example, if you know you're out, or compared to other. I mean, it's not one of those occasions where you're walking, but I think, you know, even it's just in the spirit of the game. If you're playing professional level with a higher use of technology and more experienced umpires, well then kind of more towards, okay, let the umpire make a decision. But I think also it puts your teammate in an awkward position, doesn't it? If your teammate's umpiring.
No, you're absolutely right. So yeah, this wasn't so much a scenario to do with the old debate about walking as just making sure you send the right person out to umpire. And
it's reverse walking, isn't it?
And the logic, yeah, absolutely, yeah. And the logic given was, well, he was the only person that wanted to put his hand up to do it, and there were other people that were a bit sort of quick to complain, shall we say. Oh, that's out. Stump splattered by Shaji. And Stockholm lose yet another one. Goes from bad to worse. 66 for 6 now with just one ball left of this innings. Just keep losing wickets. Struggling to build up any sense of real momentum whatsoever. This time it's Chenanali, wicketkeeper batsman, who's gone for 6 of 4. And, well, they got 67 for 3 batting yesterday against Pakistanska. And they're going to end up with something very, very similar here. Just one ball left of this innings now.
Look what they made last time, 67. And look, right now they're 66 with a ball to go. So consistently not really good enough. Still, don't judge a game till both teams bat, but I think Stockholm certainly are struggling with Pakistanska's bowling.
So Sridhar Pokala will come out to face his first ball of this ECS and the last ball of the first innings of match 5. He's got bat on it, that's a good start. Get 1, they think of 2, there's no chance of 2, and in the end he scrambles back to preserve his red inker, Yadlapali. It's not a red inker to be overly proud of in a T10 game, though, in truth. 13 not out off 18 balls, which is really not the kind of end of innings hitting that you need. And frankly, it's not been out of place. And to be fair to Yadlapali, he's one of only 2 players who's even made it into double figures. The only other man was Ankit Tiwari. There for 1. Out came Chalindra, who was such a big hitter yesterday. Should have perished here, instead was dropped and kicked away by Khalil Jalali. And Chalindra did go here. That was a nicely judged catch from Samir Ali Khan to get rid of Chalindra for 5. First boundary of the innings off the outside edge of number 4 Kunal Panchal's bat. Panchal didn't last long though, caught behind here off the bowling of Khalil Jalali. Seemed to think he hadn't hit it. The umpire was certain that he had. And that was the opinion of the man who mattered. Another drop catch out at square leg, this time from Usama Chowdhury. Only 6 of the innings here from Ankit Tiwari down the ground. Running with the lack of a bat being run in, but did the job well enough. Horrible drop catch there for Waqar Hassan, but he made amends with this bit of apple picking, taking that one-handed. Why use 2 when you can use 1? Very well-timed cut shot, one of the rare, nicely hit deliveries that we've seen in this innings so far, where Stockholm really did struggle. Samir Ali Khan joining the glut of wicket takers in the Pakistanska bowling lineup by dismissing Rajesh Lal. Huge wild swipe across the line, 1 for 6. Spilt through. There was only 4 forwards in the innings, and then that set of 4 byes down leg. Shaji dismissing Nali in the final over as acceleration was limited to non-existent in truth. Stockholm only having 2 overs in the entire innings that went for 10 or more. Just could not get any sense of momentum whatsoever. They were 12 for 2 at the end of the power play. They only got marginally better from that point. Yadlapali and Tiwari, the only 2 players to even get into double figures. Not that either of them had strike rates to be overly excited about. Just 1 6 and 4 4s in the entire innings for Stockholm. So 67 for 6, I should say, posted. Pakistanska with bowling figures to be really proud of. And again, they showed their depth using 7 different bowlers. Bilal bowled out at the top brilliantly. Mohammed continuing his excellent form in this tournament, 1 for 8 for him. Jalali with 2 for 12, and nobody else let them down. Shaji very tight in his pair of overs. 5 of the 7 bowlers picked up at least a wicket. So an excellent team effort from Pakistanska, who are well placed to make it 9 consecutive victories in the ECS and 3 consecutive victories in this competition. Stockholm up against it. Of course, yesterday Pakistanska won against them by 30 runs, and in this their second Group A head-to-head meeting. Is Pakistanska in control once again. Do join us for the run chase, which will be starting in roughly 10 minutes or so. Pakistanska needing a modest 68 runs to win from 60 balls. I'm Michael McCann, Vinny Sandy. You are listening and watching European Cricket Network. Great to have your company. We'll see you shortly for the run chase. Welcome back to Stockholm for the run chase of match 5 in this Fan Code European Cricket Series Sweden. First of double header ECS tournaments in Sweden. Fortnight here in the capital Stockholm, and then a fortnight south in Malmö. Pakistanska Cricket Club in the, well, unsurprisingly, very Pakistani national team looking cricket gear. Those dark green merging into light green trouser and shirt combinations, as well as the dark green pads. Need a very modest 68 to win. But far stranger things have happened in T10 cricket. We did see yesterday Pakistanska defending 68 all out successfully to win by 6 runs against the Forening Royals. So there's no guarantees whatsoever, and this man here, Avinash Upadhyaya, took 2 for 12 against the Forening Royals yesterday. Took 2 wickets in his opening over, and they're going to need something similarly spectacular here to help them with an unlikely defence of this target. Bowling in the power play, he's got deep third man and long off. And bring a 4. Looking for their 3rd win from 3 so far in this tournament. And that's going to help them get there. First ball is a Gundy ball, a dirty ball, flicked away for 4. And that is a lovely delivery to get first up. Just an in-swinging full toss right on your pads. And Farhan Chowdhury accepts the 4 runs and the confidence booster. Puts it away very convincingly indeed. Pakistanska off and flying. Chasing for the first time in this competition. Short than that time. Signalled by our umpire. Is it wide, as is anything whatsoever that is down leg. Ali Khan at the non-strikers. Chowdhury facing up. Again gets good bat on that. That is a very decent shot for no run. Chowdhury, who in match 1 yesterday against Pakistanska, hit 19 off 7, opening the batting. Showing his explosive qualities once more. So this wayward again from Upadhyaya. Looked so good yesterday, but hasn't made the most confident start here. He's got a bit of wind to work with that's just whipped up that might help him move the ball around with unpredictability. Shorter, that's a much better delivery. And some strangled LBW appeals, although the angle not really with him. It might be cannoning into leg, possibly even middle too. That again is knocked out for the same reason. A wild miss throw. That has missed the bowler and the stumps by a long way. Not even in the same postcode. Backed up long on boundary. You can just see Upadhyaya. Shouldn't laugh, we've all been there, but just looking at the ball as it passed him with utter disgust at how is it so wide of me. Turned away by Chowdhury. Very loud yes, and certainly was a single there. Confidently called through. They want to break the back of this target in the power play, Pakistanska, and it makes a big difference as to whether you make it through to the next stage of the tournament and in what way you do so. So I want to knock these off quickly. Ali Khan's certainly helping to do that with a shot like that. That is 10 metres over the mid-wicket boundary. Comprehensive, comfortable 55-metre boundaries, but we've needed a lot longer set of boundaries than that to keep that one in play. What a first over that is. 15 without loss after the first. Latif Rahman says only early wickets here will put Stockholm in with a fighting chance. Completely agree. That's not what they've got whatsoever, and already it's under a run a ball. Not quite into needing a miracle territory yet, but well, you're in that general ballpark. Something a bit spectacular to happen here now. He's actually hit that one so far where you're going to need a change of ball, not being able to retrieve it from the undergrowth that is out at the deepest of deep mid-wickets. Stockholm missed it earlier on, making just 67 for 6. Made 67 for 3, batting second yesterday against Pakistanska. So very much Groundhog Day for them. After a bit of a delay, it does seem like we've, after all that, got the initial ball back. It's been retrieved by some of our diligent volunteers from the Swedish Cricket Federation here out around that part of the ground. To bowl the second over and try and stop this assault is Alagan Sandhu. It's an excellent start. Just a bit of zip and carry off the pitch. It's a concrete surface that if you bang it in short with any pace really does rear up. Flicked away. That's yet more runs. They're finding Chowdhury now has his 6. Both openers finding maximums early on. Just in swinging right into the pads, and that allows Chowdhury to just flick it away. It's all about the timing, this. This is a gorgeous shot. It's easy to say that it's not the best piece of bowling, but it just makes it look so effortless through deep backward square. So Chowdhury into double figures. Flying along, these two. That will be a wide. Well, he's getting a lot of swing here, but it's got to start it if it's swinging this much into the batter. A lot further outside that off stump, otherwise it's only going to be going for runs and wides, really. Much better ball. Chowdhury forced to respect that one. It's got long off and long on out, so field is set for bowling full and straight. Nothing wrong with that delivery either. Again, better from Sandhu, avoiding straying onto the pads. Stockholm still got to keep fighting here. It's not just about net run rate, even if they are to go down, but get some bowling into their legs ahead of the challenges that await later in the day. They'll face Botshika in match 7 of the tournament, match 3 of the day. Speaking of matches that are coming up, can give you some news from the toss for match 6, match 2 of the competition, as match 5 looks to be one that Pakistanska are well placed to go on and win 22 without loss from 2. The 5th and final team from Group A to enter the tournament, Umya, have won the toss. And they've decided they're going to start their ECS campaign by having a bat against Pakistanska. Pakistanska very much the favourites for that one, and if they win this game, when they go and play that one straight afterwards, they'll be chasing a 10th consecutive ECS victory. It's Manoj Tomar, who bowled so well yesterday. Immediately he gets the treatment as well. Well, once again, it's been a feature of this innings. Just very inviting in-swinging bowling. And we know that both of these two, Chowdhury and Ali Khan, really like that ball in-swinging onto their pads. It's bowling straight into their arc. Just gets those wrists through the ball. That is yet another boundary. Pakistanska flying along here. Well, that's not as elegant a shot, but it's just as effective. Back-to-back boundaries for Samir Ali Khan. He's absolutely motoring here. He's on to 14 off 3. Stepped away, slightly smeared it, but there's yet another 4. Pakistanska are one more boundary from being at the midpoint of their run chase, and we're still in the power play. Bottom-handed swipe. It's done straight to mid-on, fielded by Gautam Ramamurthy. Pakistanska in complete control, and they'll be chasing once more in match 6. Inside out this time, less convincing, and almost caught by Chalindra running back from short cover. Just eyeing that gap on the offside. Looking to go inside out through the covers. I'm not sure Chalindra actually got anything on it at all, trying to get back and take it. Edged away, 4 more through third man. Everything going the way of Pakistanska here. One-way traffic. And poor old Manoj Tomar, luckless this time. Fortune favouring Farhan Chowdhury. Well, they are now past the midway point of this run chase. Very, very well, this pair. It's a nice clean strike down the ground, and that will be 4 more. From Chowdhury, back-to-back boundaries for him now. Though the first one wasn't the best shot, edged through third man, that's a much better shot. Nice and straight. They do have long off out, but it's quite a wide long off. That was hit very straight. So ended the power play 41 without loss. You can see those big skyscrapers from the first and the third overs really putting huge dents in this target. The first over going for 15, the third over, that one from Tomar, going for 19. So Pakistanska now 41 without loss. So a modest 27 more needed to win. This game seemingly rapidly ending, bar a miracle from Stockholm as Santosh Sandy rejoins me for the conclusion.
Yeah, looks like it could be a quick conclusion as well based on what we've seen so far. Very good power play. 41 for no loss for Pakistanska. Certainly got out of bed on the right side this morning, didn't they?
Yeah, they've been ruthless. And that's going to only get them closer to victory. Field is circling, but they're only going to have to go and fetch it a good 10 metres over the rope. I'm still not even sure he completely middled this. Went about as high as it went long. It hung in the air for a long, long time.
The wind's
came down for 6 more.
The wind's kind of assisting that way as well. So I think that's the side of the ground. You want to get them high. But it needs to be a good hit to get over that boundary still. That was a nice shot.
Well, Samir Ali Khan has 21 off 5. He's hit 4 of the 5 balls he's faced for 4 or 6.
You jinxed him good.
Yep.
But
of the innings, and well, it's a shame for him that they're chasing a target, because otherwise it's the kind of innings that, who knows, could be not just a quick 50 but maybe even something more. Complete commentator's curse. He's now out, having built his big hitting qualities that he's shown us so much in the tournament. I've brought him not just his first dot ball of his innings, but immediately afterwards he's now been stumped, charging down. Very smart work from the wicketkeeper Chenanali. I'm happy to take a secondary assist for the dismissal. And Samir Ali Khan is out. It's 47 for 1. And for those that believe in the commentator's curse, you will only believe all the more so in that concept now.
well, it's unfortunate for him, isn't it? And he's just fallen, well, 79 short of that 100 that you already were putting. Something for Stockholm at least. It's, oh well, you can't criticise the efforts from Stockholm. You know, they've just been outclassed so far. But they've still got plenty of matches. They've got 5 more matches after this to work their way into the tournament. They just got to try and get their batting clicking, I think.
Now this is a good move. They've sent out Waqar Hassan. And they've sent out Waqar because they want to get some batting into him. They know that the game is basically won. He didn't bat yesterday in either of the 2 games. He's had an interesting day in the covers, took a magnificent one-handed catch, dropped a very easy one. He'll get off the mark here with a single. He's a capable lower order hitter. I've just decided only 20 or so needed. Might as well get him some time out in the middle. Sam might not to get to face that many balls anyway. I think I've cursed him as well. Jalja unable to make contact. Pakistanska in complete control, of course, in terms of the match situation. It does seem now a case of when rather than if they're going to tick these off. Hit in between long on and deep mid wicket. Bit of foot fielding from Chalindra.
I have liked Chowdhury though. I think he's a good option at the top of the order and seems to be able to time the ball straight away. So keep an eye out for him. That is the end of the over, and coming up we have the second match of the day, and Pakistanska, they'll be back out there because they're taking on Ermio. It is their first match in ECS cricket, so that'll be exciting for them. And I can tell you that their captain, Majid Mustafa, has won the from the new kids on the block. And so that match is coming your way approximately 45 minutes time right here on the European Cricket Network.
It's going to be a tough challenge for them facing this Pakistanska bowling lineup. He looked so good this morning. Speaking of bowling, comes Vinod Chalindra, who's the hero for bat for Stockholm yesterday. That's a very decent off break. It's completely deceived Chowdhury. Again, is going to get lucky. And he'll get back for 2, very much straight off the trusty outside edge. If you pay for all of the bat, you might as well use all of it.
Yeah, well, this is why as a keeper you wear a helmet when you're up to the stumps as well. This is the kind of ball that can fly anywhere. I think it flew away from the keeper on that occasion.
Too far down leg. So, yet again, juices what's needed. Closing in rapidly, Pakistanska. Oh, he's pulled away. Something's distracted him just as he was about to face. It's called a dead ball. Brilliant from our umpire. He's quite openly just says, I don't know why.
I think they just looked up late. That's all. Something was with the spin up. I think that was what it was. He wasn't set.
Short. Catching chance. And instead it is kicked for 4. Well,
Describe that.
You just have to, I don't know where to start. It's a short ball. It is mullered by Chowdhury.
It's good vision though.
It goes out
Spots
towards
the man on the wing.
Santosh Yadlapalli. Had to have dived to have had a chance of taking it. In the end, he not only elected not to dive, but not to use his hands at all. It's hit his right foot. It's really hurt him, actually. And it's also gone for 4. So Chowdhury gets a bit lucky. That's short. Flayed away through point. It's gone very high, but not very long. He's going to settle for a walked single. Yeah, I mean, you do see some things, don't you, in the ECS. That was interesting from Yadlapalli. Not in any fielding textbook I've ever seen. And dare I say, I don't think John T. Rhodes is going to be giving him the call up as Sweden head coach.
Yeah, if you can kick it on the full, then you should be able to get a hand to it. That's probably. I've seen a few of them lately, actually.
At least stop.
Well, they haven't realised that they could probably get there at the last minute. They haven't really set their hands. And so we've seen they're just kind of satisfied to make a stop. But the stop's no good for you at this stage. You might as well go for the catch. Take a highlight.
You become Benjamin Duss in Kiel. You make a hero out of yourself. Push back. Duss taking one of the great all-time ECS catches in that particular tournament.
Look away kick as well. Teammate wasn't reading it.
Single foot Wakasasan, content to rotate strike, give it back to Chowdhury. Well, that sums it up, really. At this stage, Stockholm with 25 for 3.
Yeah, all about the start. Cricket Over Academy saying, describe that. Own goal?
Yeah.
It's probably more of a corner, really.
That is going to be a no ball. And it's also going to be 4. That is a horrible slice from Chowdhury, who was just trying to sort of tennis forehand smash style, get anything he could on it. It's a really horrid delivery. Well over waist height. Now moments from victory.
Free hit coming up as well. Gives him a chance to do it in half the time.
4 to win. And that would have been it, but the fielder's taken a crunching blow on the knee out there, Kunal Panchal.
That is how you kick the ball. That was a useful kick because it didn't matter if it was caught anyway. It didn't carry to him.
In credit to Panchal, this bounced a touch awkwardly, and he was vaguely trying to use his hands, and in the end sort of took it on the knee.
He got something behind it.
He wasn't just trying to intentionally kick the ball. He was attempting to use his hands. It just hit his body coincidentally. So 65 for 1 of 5 overs. Chowdhury taking his team home. He has 34 of 21, and it's a very, very, very elementary 3 to win.
That is the hot zone, isn't it? And so Yadlapalli, he will come.
He's still been rubbing his right foot from where he's kicked that ball over the rope, but he's going to have a ball regardless.
Certainly was a long ball.
I do wonder where. I don't think the new Swedish head coach John T. Rhodes is going to be dishing out Santosh Yadlapalli's book of fielding. Is how to do it.
He might be using the video as an example of how not to do it.
Yep.
But
unless John T. Rhodes has radically changed fielding techniques from his esteemed reputation as one of the very best fielders of all time.
2 to win though now.
So is Wakasasan going to finish it off? Will he be content to just knock another single and yet let Chowdhury do the honours? Nope, he's trying to get it done. And he's going to get it done. He's bisected long on and deep mid-wicket. And that is game over. A comfortable win for Pakistanska. Wakasasan finishing the not out. And Chowdhury did the bulk of the heavy lifting though. 35 not out. him off 22, and Pakistanska have won this game by 9 wickets. They've comprehensively outplayed Stockholm to beat them for the second time in 2 days. They've chased this target down with 28 balls to spare.
Yeah, so you can see that we have match 6 coming up, and this is starting around about 40 minutes time, so it'll be a slightly longer break on account of half the overs not being required here in match 5. And the news from the toss, it's Umur. Their captain Majid Mustafa has won the toss and has elected to bat first, and I think he himself is likely to open the batting as well as leading the side and being the wicket-keeper. So certainly he is a player to watch for Umur on their ECS debut against this PF side, who now are 3-0. Why don't we have a look at some of the highlights of the innings here in match 5, and chasing a fairly low target. PF side may be in a hurry, chasing 68 for victory, and so it went. A lot of boundaries up front. In front of Chowdhury in particular, he's a man that's impressed me, but it was Samar Ali Khan who was sent up to the top of the order. He was a man on a mission. That one just falling out of Shalindra's grasp. But Chowdhury, that was a bit fortunate, but in his innings he struck 5 fours and a Maximo, away to his 35 off 22. Samar Ali Khan, though, well, he's an explosive player. And as he walks right by me, he looks pretty satisfied about his work so far, and why not? He had a good game, didn't he, with the ball as well. Very safe pair of hands down at long on. That was the only wicket to fall. Ali Khan just overcommitting down the pitch. Smart bit of work from the keeper and captain Nali to stump him. And throughout it all, though, Chowdhury just picked up where Samar Ali Khan left off. And that one, I don't know how many bones are on your foot, but you have to check on him after that, because that one was a nasty one. And, well, as the end of the 5th over came to its conclusion, you knew it wasn't long before this one was done. It's early morning tea time in Stockholm, as it is Pakistanska Forening who win this match, and they do it with 28 balls to spare, only losing 1 wicket along the way. Let's have a look at the scorecard. And you can see there the openers doing the heavy lifting. They scored 56 off 29 balls combined. Waka Hassan came out number 3 and helped finish the job. He hit 1 boundary. But ultimately, this score of 67 just wasn't enough from Stockholm. And that's twice they've scored 67 against Pakistanska Forening. And you can tell it's got a bit of a bogey side. But Stockholm, they'll have to rebound, because they will be playing the 3rd match of the day. They'll have a match off to think about it. And they will play Botchera. So their day can turn around. Pally was a successful bowl at 1 for 13. Also thought that Harligan Sandhu bowled a pretty good over. He's been pretty reliable in the series so far. Apart from that, you see there wasn't too much to crow about for Stockholm. So that's 1 match down. Still 3 matches to go today in Stockholm, Sweden. It's wonderful to have your company, and hopefully you might be able to get to our website, europeancricket.com. Is one place you can find the preview for the next match. Omeo, well, they are new to ECS, so that's an extra reason to go to our website and check out all about those men as they enter the fray. Group A action today on the European Cricket Networks. Mr. Maximo here, Vinny Sandhu, along with Michael McCann. We'll see you in approximately half an hour for the next match. Match 6 coming up from Stockholm. This is the European Cricket Network. You're watching the Fan Code European Cricket Series.